All right, welcome back. Hey, buying a home can feel exciting if you've done it before, you're looking forward to it. There's some excitement about it, but also it can feel overwhelming. A new survey shows many Americans are worried not just about the price, but they're actually mostly stressed about the process. Mark Burridge from PenFed Credit Union joins us now with some tips for home buyers. Thank you for being with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, what are potential home buyers saying? Let's start with this. Their biggest concern right now.
It's actually related to affordability, taking into account what you have from a monthly payment standpoint, what you see from a down payment standpoint, but also the cash to close. Everything outside of that is pretty much a symptom of the cause, but it really is about determining affordability.
Okay, well said. I think we would anticipate that being a top concern for those who are planning to purchase and they say this is our year, this is what we're going to do it. What steps are sometimes overlooked? What should they be thinking about right now?
The first step, before you go out looking at homes, make sure you're looking at your budget. Determine what you can afford. There's a rule of thumb, don't spend more than 28% on housing, from what your overall earnings are. But the biggest thing is you want to go in and you want to make sure that you look at your budget and determine what you can afford based off of your lifestyle. After that, everything becomes a lot easier. Then you go out and you get pre-approved and understanding, the type of home you're looking for. So as long as you're doing that research up front, the process gets a whole lot smoother.
All right, you're examining your budget, and then you got to choose a lender. What do we say about choosing the right lender, and how important that is?
Yeah, the mortgage process isn't short-term. It's a long-term relationship because that's who's going to be your loan servicer. So go with somebody you can trust, somebody you have a relationship with, but most importantly, somebody with transparency in the process. That will take a lot of the guesswork out of the way. Be upfront with you about interest rates, about what's going on with your closing costs, and if they can bring in other services and help you bring in the whole home buying process into one suite of products, even better.
So sometimes the buyer will offer, or if you're building a home, they'll offer to use their lender for some kind of a discount. Do you have anything to say about the risks of going with somebody who you're not familiar with, who maybe the builder is offering?
Well, the mortgage is always the choice of the buyer heading in. So first and foremost, if they're doing their research and they're choosing the right lender at that point, they need to stick to their guns. And everything is a math equation, seeing how much you can save going different directions, comparing interest rates, comparing closing costs. But I like to tell people sometimes, get past the rate sometimes. Everything else related to the mortgage you have to take into account. But most importantly, you're going to be there. Who are you going to be making your payments to? And if something goes wrong, who are you going to be able to call?
Well said. One thing that we remember as we go through the home buying process, my wife and I, we've moved around a lot and we've decided to buy where we go, is that you can usually negotiate more than you think in asking for things and in going back and forth with either the builder or the seller.
Absolutely. I mean, buying the home process should be a win-win for each side. Don't get into, feeling like you lost at certain standpoints. If you're buying, ask if there's something from a price standpoint, from having seen if the seller can cover your closing costs, to even things related to the home. It doesn't hurt to ask heading in. But like you were just saying, you have a lot more negotiating power than you think.
And this year, final question, just a few seconds left. The interest rates are different and much better than they were even just last year.
Absolutely. We've seen them dip below 6% in some markets right now. And as inflation starts to stabilize, as you start to see some economic growth, you're going to start to see more easing in that one for sure. But interest rates have definitely given some breathing room.
All right, Mark Burridge, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.